Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. Hopefully it finds you all doing well. If not, send some holiday cheer, some love your way today. I'm in a good mood. Actually just bought tickets for tomorrow for my son and I to go to this thing. It's a couple hours away from me called Edaville Railroad, it used to be called when I was growing up. Pretty cool. It's basically kind of like the Polar Express train, all decked out with lights everywhere. It's tough sometimes to make holiday traditions or whatnot when you're a single parent. I'm sure maybe a few of you guys out there can empathize with me, but trying my best and I just having a blast though with all that said. Anyway, hopefully you guys are doing well as well with the holidays approaching. Today I want to go ahead and talk about something that I see a lot of people attempting, and that is a Go Second team, a Go Second tank specifically. And we talk a lot about Go Second. Why would you want a Go Second team in the arena? A, you don't spend $1 billion and you don't have the best speed gear in the entire world.
Well, you didn't have to say it like that.
So you can't outspeed a certain team. You can sub in your Go Second team. If you go against another Arbiter with like intimidating presence or something in the arena, probably fully ascended speed boots or something like that, you're probably not going to win that speed race. And you might want to go with a Go Second team. And on a Go Second team, what is the most quintessential part of that team? Damage mitigation, the tank. So today I want to give you some fundamentals on building a tank for a Go Second arena team. Also, this could be a defense team in the arena or just one of your tag team arena teams as well. So the champions are obviously important who you're choosing here, but there's a lot of them to choose from, okay? So don't get so thrown off if you don't have one of these champions. We're going to review Ursaga Warcaller, Norog, Ultimate Death Knight, Vogoth, and Sandlash Survivor, excuse me. Again, I will name a few other champions you guys can use. What you really want to look out for on these champions, what they all have in common, another one is Duchess, right? Is these passives, right? There's a lot of champions in the game that have damage mitigation passives, so keep an eye out for them. So Duchess, it's a decreased allies damage from AoE attacks by 25%, right? On Ultimate Death Knight, we don't have the damage mitigation, but he is hogging all of those single target attacks. They're going to be attacking him, a Force Affinity tank instead, okay? A guy like Norog, not somebody you see as often. Maybe you should have used like Kyoku instead, but he also has a damage mitigation on his passive. It decreases the damage allies receive who are under one or more buffs by 15%, under no buffs by 25%. Again, damage mitigation. We have Vogoth here. Vogoth has that amazing heal. So when he's attacked, he's going to be healing all allies by 50% of the damage received. So you build him super tanky, he's healing everybody up and nobody dies, right? And then the queen of arena damage mitigation, in my opinion, is Ursaga Warcaller. She ought to be because she's a Void legendary. Decrease the damage all allies receive from critical hits by 30%. This champion will receive that damage instead. That's the first thing you want to look out for, right? Is a really cool passive. Sandlash, we didn't go over hers, but plays an ally protect buff on allies. This is a passive for 2 turns when an ally's HP drops below 50%. Also plays a block damage on herself, okay? I mentioned Kyoku. Let's find Kyoku because she's also a really, really cool champion who I love if you're lucky enough to have her.
I can't believe this thing had a bullet.
Every time this champion is hit with a critical hit, heals all allies by 15% of their max HP and places an increased defense on all allies for 2 turns. Seeker is another example, okay? So I've given you guys a lot of examples of what type of champions you want to be on the lookout for. Now let's go over the fundamentals, right? I want to start with masteries, okay? Because masteries are the most important on building an arena tank, right? So assuming you farmed up all of your masteries on the tank that you've selected to go to be the, the centerpiece of your Go Second team, right? You want to start first with a defensive tree, right? Now, there's 3 incredibly important masteries. I always tell you guys here on the channel, right? Never just blindly copy masteries off of a website, off of a YouTube channel. Just don't do it. Just read them. They're not that complicated. Resist plus 10. Think about what this champion is doing and think about what champions make the most sense from it. It's okay to use a YouTube video or website as a guide or to give you inspiration or ideas, but no teams are going to be exactly alike. No accounts are going to be exactly alike. The gear is not going to be exactly the same. So you have to kind of take that all into consideration. If a champion, do you need HP on a champion? Would you rather have accuracy on a champion, depending on how you built that champion? There's so many decisions to be had. Anyway, with that said, As far as tanks go, there's 3 super important masteries. Number 1 is going to be improved parry, okay? Decrease the damage received by this champion by 8% when this champion is hit with a critical hit. Now, in the arena, you're going to be hit with a critical hit from their nuker, obviously, because everybody's going to build their nuker out with 100% crit rate. For PvE content, blast proof. It decreases damage received from AoE attacks by 5%. That would be PvE, but not the arena. I would rather have that damage mitigation from the critical hit by 8%, getting the extra 3% damage mitigation there, okay? Next one is going to be Selfless Defender. Okay, this is a tier 5 mastery. Decrease the damage an ally receives from the first enemy hit in each round by 20%. This champion will receive that damage instead, okay? And then last but not least, it's Bulwark, okay? Decrease the damage all allies receive by 5% flat out. This champion will receive that damage instead. So you add all that up together, improved parry, Bulwark, and then on the first hit, Selfless Defender, and you have a tremendous amount of damage mitigation added to whatever skill they were already bringing to the table. In Ursuga's case, decrease the damage all allies receive by critical hits by 30% on top of that. That makes for a massive tank, even though she's not doing anything. She's just sitting there and soaking up all the damage, okay? And we'll talk about artifact choices in just a moment. Other than that, guys, you can go down the support tree if they're not healing themselves. So Ursuga is not healing anybody. So you can go with Steadfast. You can come in Exalt in Death. You can come for Rapid Response. Go down Cycle of Magic, and then if they have any buffs in their kit, go with Lasting Gifts, okay? So this is the build that I specifically really like here for Go Second champions. You can see I'm using the same exact one, or very close to, on Vogoth. I do have Harvest Despair because he's a provoke. It actually...
What the hell is going on here?
I do need to get rid of Harvest Despair because there's no use for that in his kit. Not sure why I have that, but otherwise, you can see the same most important masteries on this champion. He is a healer, so we grab the healing masteries on the support tree instead. As I said, every champion's going to be a little bit different, right? Sandlash Survivor, same type of deal here, right? We went down the left-hand side, boom, boom, and boom, right? So there you go. And again, Sandlash is not doing any healing, so we went down the other choice, the non-healing support tree choice. You can see with her skills, she is increasing the duration of enemy buffs, increase the duration of ally buffs as well, ally protect, block damage, and a provoke on the A1. So guys, there we go. Those are the masteries that are super important. Now let's talk about the rest of their builds, right? Let's talk about artifact selection. To me, there's shield set, bolster set, like for example Vogoth, right? Bolster is an improved version of shield. Bolster is a protected 30% ally shield for 3 turns, and the wearer heals the wearer by 10% every turn. A really, really strong set. Obviously can be forged in, well, the Forge.
Mild shock.
Go figure. Bolster's going to be tremendous because that protected shield, well, obviously it's protected. It cannot be removed, and that heal is nice as well on your tank, right? So bolster's incredible. And if you don't have bolster gear or good bolster artifacts, no worries. You can go shield there. Just be aware that that shield can be removed. So you might want to go high resist on some of your champions, or maybe a resist aura on that team, or just be aware if you go into like Madame Sarah's teams, that shield could be removed and you could be in trouble there. So having an irremovable shield is going to be incredibly helpful with bolster gear. So that's one option for you guys. The next option could be Stalwart, okay? So Stalwart, again, you can farm Stalwart gear off of the Griffin, where it observes 10% of all damage dealt to allied champions, heals by 10% every turn, damage absorbed is not reduced by defense. So you're taking all the pure damage from everybody else and absorbing it with this champion. Just be careful because that's a lot of extra damage, 10% from everybody going onto your tank. But that's why they're a tank, right? So you have the Guardian set mixed with, again, the masteries we already spoke about. It's still a lot of damage mitigation from this one champion to keep everybody else on your team alive to withstand the other arena team going first, right? So that's the whole idea. And then last but not least, certainly not least, it's going to be Stone Skin. So I have a 6-piece Stone Skin set on Ursuga. Not only am I getting all these stats, but I'm getting Stone Skin, which is going to basically, you know, soak up all of the damage for me. So instead of Ursaga soaking up all the damage, I guess she technically still is, but that's all going to be just soaked up by the Stone Skin, so she's not even going to be harmed barely at all by any of those extra damage, any of that extra damage we talked about from the masteries or from her passive skill, right? So nice and easy if you go Stone Skin on this champion. Just keep in mind, Stone Skin is only going to last for 2 turns, so you still need to have some beefy HP and defense on these champions. And that brings me to my last point of this video. We talked about artifacts choices. We talked certainly about the masteries. Let's talk about the boots. This is a big one, guys. On your tanks, especially tanks that are, I mean, think about it. With Ursaga, for example, she's not, I haven't even talked about any of her active skills at all, right? Vogoth, we're not even worried about his A1 or his A2, really. It's nice to have, don't get me wrong, but it's not why we're using him as a tank necessarily. Same thing really for all of these champions, right? Ultimate Death Knight, the same. His skills are great, but in this case, in a tank build, we're really concerned with just getting all that damage from the masteries from the artifact set. So for that reason, we want to build these champions with defense percentage or HP percentage on their boots, okay? So we want to go HP and defense, or, you know, one or the other or both, depending on the gear that you have and the champion that you're building, on both of these categories. Then that leaves you the luxury of going either resist. I think I have resist on Ursaga. So high resist build, going to help Stone Skin removals. If it's not blocked, it's also going to help you when Stone Skin wears off. Or you can just go all out defense, right? So picture it this way. If I had Ursaga with HP, defense, and defense on the boots as well, and then more defense and HP on all the accessories, she's going to be an absolute tank. So again, speed, we're so used, it's been drilled in our heads forever that speed is so important in this game, and it is most of the time. But this would be one of the exceptions to the rule. Same thing with like Campaign Farmer with attack percentage boots would be an exception to that rule. So look at 80k, 5,300 on the defense. We still have a decent amount of speed, but even if you can't get the speed, that let me see what I have on like Vogoth. So Vogoth has 78k and 3k. So again, certainly not, I have him in a high resist build because I was trying out a high resist team, which I'm actually going to share with you guys soon, but I would not normally probably not run a high resist on Vogoth. I would take this resist off his chest, take the resist off of his banner, which I'm sure he has, and replace it with HP, right? So again, building him super tanky, but again, the boots are going to be the most fundamental, right? Boots, HP percentage, chest HP percentage, and then HP percentage on the gauntlets, okay? Just making him a massive, massive tank for your team. Very difficult to bring him down. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and make the switch right now for you guys. So bolster, let's see if we have any good HP percentage bolster chest pieces. You'll see he's just going to be an absolute tank, and he's going to need to be because of all the damage mitigation off of those passives as well. So let's see what we have here. We do have, let's go with it. Let's go with it. Let's see if we can upgrade it. I'm silver broke right now, guys. So silver broke, but we are able to max it out. So here we go. This is a better build. I would also go HP on the banner here. But again, 88k, we could stand to get a little bit more defense on this build, but 143 speed, who cares, man? He's just there to stay alive and soak up the damage and heal everybody else. So there we go, guys. We talked about the artifact choices. We talked about defense percentage or HP percentage on your boots, your chest piece, and your gauntlets, and your accessories, and we talked about masteries. That is kind of, to me, the pillars of building a really strong Go second tank for your arena team. Thank you guys for watching. Wishing you a very happy holidays and a beautiful day. And as always, take care, guys.